Hello friends, this video on capacitors and capacitance part 7 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 6 before going ahead with part 7. So now we will look at the types of capacitors. So broadly capacitors are classified into three types: parallel plate capacitor, spherical capacitor and cylindrical capacitor. They are all basically the same arrangement of two conductors separated by an insulating medium. They are categorized on the basis of the kind of conductors which we use. So when we talk about parallel plate capacitor, the conductors are basically nothing but plates. They are conducting plates which are parallel to each other and separated by an insulating medium, the one which you can see in this figure. So the blue colored plates are nothing but conducting plates which are arranged parallel to each other, separated by a insulating medium. Similarly, when I talk of spherical capacitor, basically they are two conducting spheres which are separated by an insulating medium. And as obvious, when we talk of a cylindrical capacitor, it talks about two cylindrical conductors separated by an insulating medium. Now we will study about parallel plate capacitor in detail. So as the name says, parallel plate capacitor consists of two conducting plates parallel to each other. Right? Parallel, so the plates are parallel, and since they have conducting plates, so it is known as parallel plate capacitor. There is an insulating medium separating the two conducting plates. So that was the basic structure of a capacitor, right? Two conductors separated by an insulator. One plate is insulated while the other is earthed. So these two conducting plates which we have, we arrange it in such a way that the first plate, one conducting plate, is insulated. Insulated in the sense the plate is a conducting plate, but it is surrounded by insulator. So any such conductor which is surrounded by insulator, the purpose is so that there is no leakage of current, because since a conductor allows electricity to pass through it, so there might be leakage of current. The current might get leaked from there all the time. So that is why the plate is insulated, whereas the other plate is earthed. Why is the other plate earthed? Now I think you know that reason, because in the previous slide I told you how does a conductor work. What did we see? If we earth the second plate, then the potential in the first plate decreases all the more, and as a result the capacitance increases, because as the potential in the first place decreases, there is more scope of giving more charge to that first plate. So more and more charge gets stored in the capacitor. Now the greater is the capacity to store charge, greater is the capacitance. So the capacity, there is a chance to increase the capacitance by earthing the second conductor. So we insulate one plate to prevent leakage of current, and we earth the second plate in order to increase the capacity of the capacitor. Now let us look at it. How does it look like? So this is how it looks. Two conducting plates. Let us suppose which are separated by some distance. Let us call this distance as D. And let us say that the area of each of these plates is A. This is the area of the plate. Now let us suppose, as I told you before also, that let us suppose some charge is provided, some positive charge is provided to this plate A until and unless it reaches its maximum potential, that is V. So let us suppose that some positive charge is given to this plate. Now due to induction, what will happen? Negative charge will get induced here, right? So this is what will happen. Let us suppose that we give positive Q to this plate. So negative Q will get induced on this plate, and as a result, if this end of the plate is negative, so this end will have positive charges, right? But what have we done? We have earthed this plate to the ground. Therefore, these positive charges will be immediately taken to the earth and neutralized. So these positive charges will vanish. So what is happening basically? Basically, plus Q charge is there on plate A and minus Q charge is there on plate B. That is what is present as of now. Now, we also know that if there is positive charge at one end and negative charge at the other end, what will happen? Electric field will set up. So that is what is happening here. So electric field is set up in the medium between the two plates. So this becomes the direction of electric field, positive towards negative. Now, because of this electric field inside the capacitor plays a very important role. Now, let us find out what would be the electric field on the surface of these plates. Please quickly review back because I have already derived an expression for electric field on the surface of the conductor. You remember I told you that the electric field on the surface of the conductor is always perpendicular, which is true here also, and the electric field is given by sigma by epsilon naught. You remember? Right. So that we will use that here. So we know that electric field on the surface is sigma by epsilon naught. So that means electric field on this surface is plus sigma by epsilon naught, and on the surface of D is minus sigma by epsilon naught, because the charge here is negative, right? And also we know that electric field E is equal to minus dV by dr. You remember this was the relation between electric field and electrostatic potential. That electric field is nothing but gradient of electrostatic potential. Correct? So in this case, what is this electrostatic potential? Electrostatic potential here in this case, let us assume that electrostatic potential is V. We assume that the difference is V. And what is the dr? What is this dr? Dr is nothing but the distance between these two plates, that is D. Therefore, we can say that this equation and this equation can be equated because both are E. Therefore, we can say that sigma by epsilon naught is equal to V by D. Right? See. Okay. So, from this we can say that V is nothing but sigma D divided by epsilon naught. Now, what is sigma? Sigma is nothing but surface charge density, that is charge per unit area. So, we can say charge is Q per unit area. Area of each plate is A. Right? Now, let us find out an expression for capacitance. I have already defined capacitance. What was capacitance? Quickly review. I told you that the charge on the capacitor is directly proportional to the potential, because as I told you now also, if you see, as the potential increases, the charge also increases, right? Because you are getting this charge from, because for a capacitor to work, there has to be a potential difference, there has to be a source of voltage which will provide the charge, right? So as that source of voltage or as that potential difference increases, the charge also increases. Because here also what I was trying to do, by earthing it, what am I trying to do? I am trying to increase the potential difference between these two plates. Now as the potential difference between the plates increases, more and more charge can be stored on this. So that means charge is directly proportional to the potential difference, and that is how we defined capacitance as this C. So capacitance C is nothing but charge per unit potential difference. Now we can write it Q divided by, instead of V, we can write this expression, that is QD divided by A epsilon naught. So this Q and Q will get cancelled. So we get C is equal to A epsilon naught divided by D. So the capacitance for a parallel plate capacitor is A epsilon naught by D. That means area of each plate into epsilon naught, which is the permittivity of the medium, divided by D, that is the distance between the plates. You remember the first slide when I talked about capacitance, I told that capacitance depends on two factors. One is shape and size of the conductor. So here you can see, here the conductors are nothing but the conducting plates. So here it depends on the area of the plates as well as the distance between the plates. So that means it depends on the shape and size of the conductor. And it also depends on the nature of the medium. So here also you see it depends on epsilon naught. What is epsilon naught? It is nothing but permittivity of the medium. So this is how I proved that capacitance depends on these factors, and also we have derived a mathematical expression to calculate capacitance in case of a parallel plate capacitor. So what did we learn about the basic working of a capacitor? We concluded that the capacitance of an insulated conductor of any, right now I'm not talking about this parallel plate capacitor, I'm talking about just any insulated conductor. The capacitance can be increased by bringing near it an uncharged earth conductor, correct? Because when you bring an uncharged, this is the basic funda of a capacitor. You have an insulated conductor, you bring any uncharged conductor in front of it. What happens? As soon as you bring an uncharged conductor, due to induction, opposite charge will be induced on that uncharged conductor. Now, as soon as opposite charge gets induced on the uncharged conductor, there is an electric field which sets up between these two conductors, right? Now, as a result of that, there is a potential difference which is developed, right? And as soon as the potential difference increases, there is more scope of getting more charge on the first conducting plate, and as a result, more and more charge gets stored in the capacitor, right? Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.